to a vlog on the BrickFix YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking a little bit about what I've been up to this week regarding Lego, and the things that I've been accomplishing and what I would like to do in the future. So this week, I did a whole bunch of stuff. I started building some things that I didn't really finish. I started doing, I parted out a few sets so that I could rebuild them, make sure they're all there for a future speed build. And I did all of that stuff. And then I also improved my MOC, which is this island right here. I started a pinball machine, but it didn't really go too far with it because I don't really have enough pieces to make the outside rim around it, because I made the front part really, really big. I did that, and I also built the set that I unboxed last week. So, what have I been up to? First thing I did this week is I improved this MOC a little bit. So as you can see, I don't know if these were there before, but I added some pathways there. I added a bit more of a city in the front. I added some trees, which are back here. And I also added a little castle here. I don't know how much this was there last week, but I improved it a little bit, added some more of a city. So yeah, and then if you look at it from there, it has a pretty cool skyline. So that was pretty fun. I enjoyed doing it because it was part of something I'm kind of working on in a personal project type thing. So that was interesting. I was thinking of maybe doing a mock of a world map, but I would probably have to use an online designer, and I found that the best one for me to use would be Bricks, because I find that one works the best. And so after that, what I did was I started building, or not building, but I took apart a set, which I've had built down on my shelf over here where there's a big empty space. And it was this set here, 70835, I think it is. And it's the Lego Movie 2 Rex's Rexplorer. So this set is really, really cool. I don't know how many pieces. I have the box kind of hidden away, and I never bothered to grab it out. And so what I did was I went through, and for every single bag that was in the instructions, so if I go here where it shows all the bags, so we have bag 1 does this part, bag 2 does that. So what I did was I went through the instructions after taking apart the whole set, and the set was kind of just thrown across my whole entire desk here. And what I did was I would go through and I'd be like, okay, so I need this piece here. So if I was to open it up to, let's say, page 1, where I need Emmett, so what I would need is his hair, his face, his torso, and his legs, and then also a little flashlight. So I'd have to find all those things. I put them into this bag. So as you can see, I've got Emmett's body right about there, and I've got some other pieces of him. So I just kind of did that. So I have 8 bags down here, because there's 8 bags in this set, and that's going to be coming up in a future speed build. I'm not quite sure when. I also took apart another set. It's hidden back up here. It's not this train here, but it's the train behind it. It is set number 75955, and I think it's just called the Hogwarts Express, and this is the one, I think it's from 2018, and it is the one that has, 2018, that has the little background thing, King's Cross Station, that's what it is, and it has a little swinging door thing where you can go to platform 9 3/4, so yeah, it's a pretty cool set. I just finished building that today. That was really fun, but the main reason I took it apart is because, 1, I wanted to make sure that all the pieces were there, and 2, I looked at that set at one point, and I realized, dang, that thing's really, really dusty. So what I had to do was I had to take it all apart, and I'm probably going to be using either a damp cloth or a paintbrush or something. I'm going to dust it off, maybe like a Swiffer duster thing, I don't know. But I'm going to be doing that, so that should hopefully get rid of some of the dust, because some of the stuff like that train has been sitting there since about 2019, so it's been there for a while. And it hasn't always been on this shelf. It used to be in my back room, all my Lego. I had it all kind of on on the wall. I had bins like this, except they were on the ground. There's another one over there, as I mentioned, I think last week. And so I have bins like this, and I had these bins here, and they were just kind of put around the wall. But the reason that I couldn't go in there is because I didn't fit in that room, because that room is really, really big. Or, not very big. I mean, it's really small, because the roof, it's kind of if I was sitting here, I would probably have about this much headspace in some spots. So, because it's a slanted roof. So yeah, that's what I had to do. And so I built this set or not a set, but I built this. I built those things, and I also built a pinball thing. And it's this thing here. And as you can see, it's got like all these different things sticking out of it. If I turn it like that, you can see it better. And there's also a little bit, I don't want this to break again. It fell at one point and broke. But right here, we have like a few bumpy parts. And I just kind of got that. My parents said it kind of looked like a barn, and I kind of have to agree. And then down here, if you see, there's like this little thingy here. It's not actually going to stay with this beam here. If I turn it around, you can see it better. But it's like this, and then when you push that, it'll do that. So like it'll push that, and the whole thing goes up. So you can like play pinball. It's not staying with that beam though. I was trying to build an outside part for it, like you know how pinball machine has that big box around it, kind of like an arcade, and then you have this part on the front slanted up. I was trying to build that, but I didn't really have enough pieces because I still don't have like a gigantic collection. Also because most of my pieces are in these sets here, so I couldn't really like take those pieces and put them into one build because I didn't want to. Because the problem is when you have a big collection of mostly sets like this, like these two shelves are full, there's shelves up there full of sets. When you have two, or like a big collection like that, and you're trying to build all these sets, when you have to build a MOC, or when you want to build a MOC, it's really hard because you can't take pieces from, say, this Monster Book of Monsters that I showed you last week. So this one here, it's really cool. And say I needed these parts here, these like little, I don't know if you can see that, but it's like a little part, it's kind of like got some like slots in it, kind of like a groove. I don't know if you can actually see that, but yeah, so it's like if I needed those, I wouldn't take apart that set because chances are it's all going to end up in an unsorted bin, which is a perfect segue to the thing I want to talk about next. One thing I'm probably going to be doing for the rest of this week is dealing with a lot of unsorted Lego. So if I move that over there so I have more space. This whole bin here, it's pretty heavy, is all the stuff that needs to be sorted. So it's pretty big, you can see. And inside of it, there's a lot of pieces. So there's things in there that were like sets that I started building and then realized, oh, I don't have enough pieces to finish it, or I don't have all the pieces. So like that one there, that one is part of a hot rod set, I'm pretty sure. And so I built that and realized, oh, I don't have this piece here, which is supposed to be like a little engine part or whatever. And I don't have another one of those yellow pieces either that's inside. So that when, I think it's when this one, no, which one is it? It's when these spin, see how that stuff's moving? It's easier to see on this side though. When you spin it, those things kind of move. So yeah, but I don't have any more of the yellow things because it might be in with some of my fake Lego. And I have this here. I was starting to build something. It's, if you can kind of picture it, there was another eye there. It was supposed to be a Lego minifigure head. Didn't really finish that at all. I've got this here, which was part of the outside for this, but never really got finished because this is pretty much all I could build. It was like a ring about that big. This is also part of the pinball machine. It's supposed to be like the ramp that the ball would run down once it falls through one of the holes, and then you can play again. And then there's also a few minifigures, like there's this, he's either an orc, I think he's an orc, so there's one of him, I think he's fully complete, so that has to be sorted. This is part of a spaghetti meatball MOC that I was making. I don't know why, I just kind of felt like it. This here was supposed to be an entry into a contest. It's like, it was a space contest that recently finished, and where if you build something with about 250 pieces, I think it was, then it could be made into a gift with purchase. So I wanted to do that, but I never really managed to finish this in time, and then I kind of gave up on it. So basically what it is you spin this crank here, and the thing will go around, and then at the same time there was supposed to be like a big earth in the middle, and the earth was there, but then I took it apart to build this island MOC thing. So yeah, and then this here, I mentioned it in one of my podcasts, which is the Brick Fix podcast, that I was building a Ninjago MOC for a Ninjago contest, which is a micro-scale like museum map or whatever, and that was one of the things that I was building, but I never finished it in time, and then when I did finish it, it was a little too late to post it onto the contest, so that's a little too bad. But yeah, and then also I have a MOC here, which is supposed to be from Skyrim, which is a game that I really like to play. It's based on like medieval times with magic and stuff. This was supposed to be a Draugr, which is like an ancient skeleton-looking guy. Yeah, I don't know. It was actually interesting to make. I even have a figure of myself. I have like a Lego minifigure wall over there, and I have a figure of myself in Skyrim. Speaking of a figure of myself, I also this week I made a minifigure of myself, a sig fig. I can move a bit closer, so if you can kind of see, that's the face that I have. There's no other one on the other side. That's kind of the hair that I chose for myself, and all of this stuff was made from from extra parts that I have, because I have a whole bin, maybe 3 times the size of this one here, that I have to sort as well. And so I've got like a sword and a gun and a little backpack on it. So yeah, I've got myself a minifigure. That's pretty neat. And then I also had him displayed earlier with some pieces. I'll show you. Just in here, I have a few little bins, like a few little boxes. So this one here has a fragile sign on it and a little, oh, you can't see it, can you? It's too bright. There we go. So you've got like a little thingy on there with a stamp right there, and then a fragile sign, and then this one here I really liked. And this all came from thrift store Lego. This one says Lego on it, and it's got another stamp on it. So that was pretty cool. I found a lot of, I think I mentioned it last week, where with all this Lego that I found at thrift stores and stuff, I've got a huge bin that I have to sort. Along with this stuff is all pieces that have already been sorted, and they were all in my bins, but then when I built something else, then they got taken apart, as I mentioned. So this here is probably going to be the first thing I have to sort. Like I've got this here, which was part of my Ninjago MOC. I've got a whole bunch of stuff in here, like these here, with all the Technic pieces on them. These were supposed to be something for a game called Dungeons and Dragons, which is like a role-playing game. And basically what it is you have a whole bunch of these, and they were supposed to have like walls on them. So when you have these, and you can put them in like different ways, and then some of them will have a wall that's kind of like on here with a little piece right there. And then what you can do is there's like a passage, so if you're playing the game, you can only walk like through here and then walk like that, and then you can't cross those walls. So it's kind of like if you're playing the game and you go into a cave or something, then in that cave what you can do is you can walk through, and the person telling the story, they can have these and they kind of lay them out, so it's like it'll go straight and turn left, so then you walk there, and then it's like, oh, so you're at the end of that tile, so then you want to move to the next one, so then you go there, and it's like, okay, now there's 4 ways to go, which way do you go? So it's kind of like that. There's also this minifigure here who's from some sort of Lego dinosaur thing. He's pretty neat. So yeah, there's a lot of things in here, like a little part of a helicopter that I found in a thrift store thing. I know it's a helicopter because I already have the instructions. So yeah, so basically how it's going to work with speed builds on this channel is every 2 weeks there's going to be a speed build that comes out. And every week there's going to be a Lego vlog kind of talking about what I did in the week. And for my podcast, in case you haven't ever listened to that, which is the thing that started this all, the podcast comes every 2 weeks. There's going to be one this week, and then in 2 weeks from then. And the one this week, I'm not quite sure what it's going to be yet, but just stick around, you'll find out. So, yeah, there's not much else to talk about here. I have stuff to sort, I have stuff to build, and I've got some stuff coming down the line. I think it'll be fun. So, if you have any ideas for a MOC for me to build, just put them in the comments, because I'm always looking for new things to build, and I want to have some ideas, so then I can maybe start building them, and then by the time I'm done those builds, then they'll go in the unsorted bin, and I'll have more stuff to sort. How fun. Yeah, so I've got that, and that's pretty much all there is for today. So remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment if you have any MOC ideas or suggestions on what I should do a video on, maybe on how I sort, and that's it for today. So I'll see you all later. Bye!